Hello, one and all. I'm Dr. Shamili Mandal, and I'm back with Lecture 4, that is, Folk Tales from Central and West India, in my third module, Folk and its Narrative Genre. In this lecture, I'll be going to discuss about the folk tales from Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and other states of India. Firstly, we'll be dealing with the folk tales from Rajasthan. The colorful culture, history, and ideals of Rajasthan, the land of kings, are reflected in its rich folktale heritage. The stories, which have been passed down orally down the decades, frequently include otherworldly creatures, devoted animals, wise rulers, and valiant warriors. They are deeply ingrained in Rajasthani folklore, and the stories are frequently told with folk music and dance. A lot of stories center on valiant kings and soldiers who defended honor and fought against invaders. Tales emphasize the sacrifices people made for their homeland, kin, or monarch. A number of legends depict tragic love stories that highlight the societal restraints of the ancient world. Through divine intervention, many folktales provide moral lessons. The stories have a lot of ghosts, spirits, and magical creatures. We have the well known Rajasthani folktale, which includes in the Pabuji legend, or you can say the Pabuji folktale. So, Pabuji Rathore was a warrior and folk god at the center of Pabuji ki Phar or Fur, one of the very well known Rajasthani folk tales. The Bhopas, the folk singers, sang the story, which is told through a special scroll painting. The scroll painting is actually called the Phar or the Far. The story goes in this way. A Rajput prince named Pabuji gave his life to defend cows from intruders. He was called for his wedding, but he decided to put duty before marriage, and he lost his life defending the holy cattle. So, the moral of the story is honoring obligations and commitments above personal interest. The story can also be said, about Princess Maru, who was the wife of Prince Dhola of Narwar when he was younger, but he forgot about her. Later, Maru reminded of him their connection in a message. However, her competing suitors attacked Dhola when he attempted to get back together with her. So, they made their gateway and led a happy life together with the aid of magical camel. So, what is the moral of the story? That all barriers are surmounted by true love. We have another folktale that is about Guga Pir, who is revered in Rajasthan as a snake bite defender. So we have Gugaji, who was born in a Rajput household with magical abilities that allowed him to control snakes. He became a folk divinity by using these abilities to shield humans from poisonous bites. So, here also we can say that selfless service should be always there rather than being selfish. Also, we have another brave Rajput warrior, Amar Singh Rathore, who was well known for opposing Shah Jahan. And according to his folktale, he resisted Mughal authority and ultimately perished at the Agra battle. Or you can say the Agra fort while battling betrayal. His story is a famous account of Rajput bravery, which is very well known and you can say a common theme actually of Rajasthani folktales. Also, Rajasthani folktales is all about the legends or the folktales of kings, warriors, and princesses, of love, valiantness, and battles and courage. That is what Rajasthani folktale consists of. The story, as I said, is an account of Rajput bravery, and because of his daring escape and the devotion of his steed, we have another folk hero who is also revered for healing abilities and sacrifices, that is Tejaji. He is also regarded as a protector of cattle and is said to have received immunity from venom from a snake. There's also the story between a romance actually between Rajput Princess Mumal and Prince Mahendra, who is the subject of another well known love story, Mumal and Mahendra. Mumal self immolates when the lovers are cruelly split up due to miscommunications and fate. In Rajasthani tradition, this tale is a quintessential illustration of love, fate, and tragedy. We can see it is very similar to the stories of Heer Ranja and Sahiba Mirza from another states of India. Also, we have the story of supernaturalism, as we have in the Bhangar fort, which is known to be haunted. And according to the legend, the entire city was condemned and still cursed. Panihari folk tales are also there, which glorify the struggles of women in desert areas who fetch water from distant places. The stories often depict strong and independent women who overcome obstacles in their daily lives, portraying the resilience of Rajasthani women. The bravery of Bhatiji, a young warrior who lost his life protecting cows from invaders, is told in the folktale. In rural Rajasthan, the stories are still recited, and he is revered as a guardian of animals. Next, we're going to talk about the folk tales from Gujarat. The westernmost state of our country exhibits folk tales honoring the legends, the trading community, and the natural elements. Gujarati folk tales have a strong hold on the state's culture and values. They uphold historical narratives, impart moral lessons, and honor justice, bravery, and loyalty. These tales, which are mostly told at festivals, get togethers, and traditional performances like Bhavai and Garba, remain an integral component of storytelling tradition. Many of the Panchatantra stories are also incorporated in the Gujarati oral traditions, despite their origins in Sanskrit literature. Children also enjoy them and they are used to impart wisdom. So, we have the very famous folk tale of Sati Toral. Rao Khengar, the Jadeja monarch, had a loyal wife named Toral. Toral was shown great bravery as she walked on burning coal to demonstrate her loyalty to the king and to be reunited with him when he was arrested and taken away. She became an enduring icon of faithfulness because of her unwavering love and sacrifice. So, we have another heartwarming tale about two sisters named Nagmati and Karmati who gave their life to provide water to their village that was suffering from a drought. A mysterious river began to flow where they drowned and after they prayed to the gods. So, where water scarcity is a significant problem here, this story is frequently told. We also have the well known author Jhaverchand Meghani, who compiled many of the folk tales in his well known work Soratni Rasdhar. We also have the valor of Jethi Sipahi, a soldier who valiantly defended his village in one such story. We also have the story of a potter woman who was Jasma Oran. Her beauty captivated the monarch Siddharaj Jaishin, who desired to make her his queen. Devoted to her husband, Jashma turned down the offer. The king killed her husband out of rage, but Jashma chose to burn herself alive, means she immolated herself and cursed the monarch for not having children. So we can say Gujarat's past is strongly rooted in the tale, particularly among communities that place a high importance on honor and loyalty. So, we have another stories, of goddesses giving curse and the fabled tale of Vanraj Chowra, who established the city of Anhilpur Patan, present-day Patan, and the Chowra dynasty. Also, it is said, the folk tales say that he regained his legitimate kingdom after being born in exile. And also, he gave the city name of Anhil, a priest and friend from his early years. The story emphasizes the concepts of fate, friendship, and commitment. Next, we are going to talk about the folk tales from Maharashtra. The Maharashtra gives us Mahakatha, that is, folk tales whose characteristics is pluralistic. Maharashtra also has a rich folktale legacy which reflects the state's values, history, and culture. These stories, which are handed down through the years, frequently involve monarchs, saints, animals, and regular people who overcome obstacles, carry out valiant actions, or outsmart cunning individuals. The Koli fishermen worship a local divinity goddess called Mumba Devi, who is said to have inspired the name of Mumbai, previously Bombay. So you can say it's a tale or a legend. According to the tale, the goddess battled and vanquished Mumbarka, a demon who was causing havoc in the area. The people in the area erected a temple in her honor. In this story, there's also about Narayan, a clever but improvised man, utilizes his cunningness to get out of sticky circumstances. Also, he once outwits a rapacious landlord by feigning to have supernatural abilities. So, it also demonstrates how quick wit can and intelligence can overcome riches and power. We also have the story of Khandoba, a manifestation of Lord Shiva. So you can say it's either a folk tale or a legend. The purpose of this story, or you can say the narrative of Khandoba's marriage to a shepherdess named Banai and a princess they have named Malsa. The story, which is fundamental to the faith of many rural communities, depicts themes of love, devotion, and divine playfulness. There's also the story of Dholi Chadev, a funny folk tale that talks about a poor man who gets a magical drum that gives him anything he wants. But because of his greed and stupidity, the drum is stolen, illustrating the lesson that one should be happy with what they have. There is also the story of Chikati Bakari, an elderly woman who attempts to fool a goat into approaching so she can roast it. But by feigning to be more powerful and frightening than it actually is, the goat outwits her. So, these folk tales say about, that we should have wit and humor for our survival. Also, the legends and the folk tales are very important in Maharashtra. The legends and folk tales in Maharashtra are actually intertwined, and they both talk about the monarch's bravery, wit, courage, and same thing. And same means the same thing, same theme actually in more or less all the stories they have. Next, we are going to talk about the folk tales from Goa with influences from Hindu, Konkani, Portuguese, and tribal traditions. Goa, a coastal state in India, has a rich folktale history that reflects its diverse cultural past. These oral traditions frequently have historical relevance, supernatural components, or moral teachings. Certain places are thought to be haunted by spirits known as Devchar, who are said to play tricks on tourists at night in Goan villages. A farmer meets a Devchar on his way home, according to one such story. He is offered enormous fortune by the ghost, but is required to keep this encounter as a secret. The farmer, unable to keep the secret, finally talks about it, and all of his wealth vanishes in an instant. So, what does this tale say us? That we should be very careful of what we talk about. It also gives us a cautionary message about the perils of dealing with paranormal and greed. Also, there are some versions of the story which suggest that the legend is related to the lost city of Sachibati, which is thought to have existed in Goa and vanished because of a great flood or other natural disaster. The story also tells of a powerful king in Goa who enraged a sage who felt insulted and cursed the king that his kingdom would be submerged underwater. Also, the very common theme in Goa we have is a fox and a crab. As we know that Goans are mostly, consuming fish and you can say other sea animals. So, the common theme of crab is a very well known, you can say, theme in Goan folk tales. The crafty fox here attempts to deceive the crab into abandoning its residence on the riverbed. But the crab uses its cunning to trick the fox into going the river where the powerful currents carried away. So this folktale, also demonstrates how wit and intelligence overcome even the craftiest adversaries. We also have the story, or you can say the legend, of Dona Paula. There's a very famous place in Goa actually named Dona Paula. So, a noble woman, Dona Paula, is said to have fallen in love with a local fisherman and is among the most well known stories of Goa. But since their love was illegal, she hurled herself into the Arabian Sea as she couldn't stand, being apart from him. So locals think that the spirit still wanders the area, especially on moonlight evenings. And the well known tourist name, as I said, destination Dona Paula bears her name. We also have, the story of the spirit of three kings in the church Cansulim in Goa, which is also, the eerie folktale we have. So we can say that the folk tales of Goa are a mixture of the Indian storytelling tradition, the Portuguese storytelling tradition, and also has other influences from the world because Goa has always been a port in every time actually in during any ruler during any colonial period or you can say during any period we can say be it the Indian kings or the British or anything, or you can say the Goa, the Portuguese or the Dutch, Goa has always been a port. So people have flocked always in Goa from throughout the world actually. And we have the folk tales here is a combination we can say or you can say a conglomeration of various folk tales from other parts of the world too. It's like you can as I said a combination of various elements from other part of the world. It's a mixture, it's an influence which makes the Goan folk tales unique in their own ways. Next, I'll be talking about the folk tales from Madhya Pradesh. India's central state of Madhya Pradesh has a rich folktale history that captures the state's varied culture, tribal heritage, and historical influences. These tales, which have been passed down orally for many generations, frequently incorporate social ideas, moral lessons, and mythological aspects. While certain folk tales have their roots in Hindu epics and local history, many come from the tribal population of Bhil, Gond, and Baiga. Raja Bhoj, an 11th century ruler of the Parmar dynasty who was clever and just, is the subject of one of Madhya Pradesh's most well known folk tales. The king is assisted in realizing the value of intellect over gold by a shrewd barber, according to the narrative. So, the story goes in this manner. Raja Bhoj is impressed by the intelligence of a barber, who is well known for his humor. Envious of the barber, the courtiers attempt to discredit him by informing the monarch that the barber asserted superior wisdom. Raja Bhoj chooses to put the barber's wisdom through a series of tests rather than penalizing. The barber outsmarts every obstacle, demonstrating that resourcefulness and intelligence are more valuable than wealth and influence. Also, a very prominent figure in Madhya Pradesh folklore is Rani Durgavati, the mythical queen of the Gond kingdom. Her tale serves as a testament to bravery and tenacity. The Gondwana territory was ruled by this courageous queen, Rani Durgavati. She decided to fight rather than give up when Asaf Khan's Mughal army invaded her country. Despite her valiant leadership of the soldiers, she ultimately suffered combat injuries. She chose death over dishonor and committed suicide rather than be arrested. So, life is not as valuable as bravery and self respect. That is what we learn from this folk tale. Also, in Madhya Pradesh villages, they frequently recite the traditional Panchatantra story, which is a component of the Panchatantra collection. So, the story goes in this manner that a crocodile frequently received fruit from a cunning monkey that resided on the tree near a river. The avaricious spouse of the crocodile desired to consume the monkey's heart. She convinced her husband to deceive the monkey into accompanying him home. Realizing the ploy, the monkey informed the crocodile that he had left his heart on the tree when they crossed the river. The monkey got away after the crocodile led him back to the tree. So, here also we can say that moral, the wit, and intelligence always saves us. And as similar to the stories, the folk tales of other states, Madhya Pradesh also has its fair share of numerous ghost stories associated with the ruins of Mandu, a medieval city in Madhya Pradesh. According to local legend, a stunning queen named Rupmati once resided in a haunted palace. The Sultan Baz Bahadur captured her heart. Rupmati poisoned herself and Baz Bahadur escaped the Mughal invasion. Her ghost is still said to wander the palace and sing sorrowful lines. Also, what do we get to know from this? That life and death are nothing compared to true love. We also have the very renowned Bhojtal in Bhopal, which has its origin explained by this folktale of Raja Bhoj, who had a terrible skin condition. He was taught by a saint that he may be healed by the water of 365 rivers. Raja Bhoj gave the order to connect multiple water sources in order to build a huge reservoir. Although a gang of jealous courtiers spread rumors that the lake was cursed, but it really healed him. Some claim that some odd events happen near the lake and there are unexplained drownings which are signs of the curse. But we can understand that sometimes superstition kind of predominates, not predominates, dominates actually above good deeds. There are also several folk tales about nature spirits among the Vil tribe, one of Madhya Pradesh major indigenous community. Once, a poor woodcutter unintentionally assisted an injured bird by seeking cover behind a banyan tree. He was bestowed with unending wealth by the enchanted tree. The tree cursed the greedy guy who attempted to cut it down for money, and he lost everything as a result. So, here also we get to know that greed brings us disaster, and kindness is always repaid. Also, one of the most well-known stories another actually one of the most well-known stories we have is of the tribe we have discussed earlier, one of the Gonds who worship Badadev or the great god, and there are several myths, you can say folk tales or legends about him, that he is the people's ultimate divinity. He used to be a man and reside among people. He taught them to live in harmony, preserve the environment, and grow crops. But after being treated disrespectfully, he vanished behind a saja tree, which is revered by the Gonds. So we can say that the folk tales of Madhya Pradesh, like other states, has a combination of supernatural elements, love, pain, war, and other themes, etc. Next, we are going to talk about the folk tales from Chhattisgarh. The folk tales from Chhattisgarh also, as very similar to other states, have been are abundant and passed down through generations. The tribal customs, belief, and wisdom of its people, especially the Gond, Baiga, and Halbi and Orao communities, are reflected in these folk tales. A window into the region's rich cultural legacy is provided by the stories, which frequently combine mythology, supernatural aspects, and moral precepts. So we have the story of the trickster fox and tendu leaf. The small size of the tendu leaf, which is used to make beedies, is explained by this tale. The tale says that the fox once persuaded the trees to enlarge their leaves in order to give shade. But being cunning, the fox deceived the trees by consuming their leaves and fruits at night. Infuriated by the trick, the tree shriveled its leaves to prevent future abuse. The lesson of this tale is that dishonesty results in loss. We also have the story of the ghostly bride and Betal. So, a courageous young guy named Betal actually was duped into marrying a stunning woman who was a ghost. When he saw that she had no shadow in the moonlight, he realized that she was her true form. He managed to get away by repeating holy mantras and drove the ghost away with the aid of a wise sage. The folktale also illustrates the value of faith and knowledge while cautioning against delusion. We have the story of Danteshwari Devi, the principal deity of Bastar, who is also associated with a folk tale. A tribal monarch is said to have asked for a heavenly guardian for his people. When the goddess showed there, she assured them that she would protect them only if they continued to be good. So, this also combines a moral message about fairness and righteousness with devotion. The varied cultures, customs, and values of Western and Central India are reflected in the folk tales, which shared similar characteristics like justice, kindness, wisdom, honesty. They are also a means of teaching social and rules and moral behavior, especially to young people. Ghosts, devils, fairies, and divine interventions are among the supernatural creatures that appear in many legends. These also the components also give us excitement, and importantly, animals are important characters who frequently represent human traits like evil, cleverness, or cunningness. Also, we have the Jataka tales and the Panchatantra stories, which are excellent illustrations of this custom. These stories place a high priority on intellect and cunning, and many of them have cunning protagonists who outsmart wealthy or avaricious people. We also have, the geography and the customs of the places from which the stories originate are also reflected in them. And also, we have the stories of, that we have in Chhattisgarh about the oral traditions of the Gond and the Baiga group. These tales also have a strong sense of justice, frequently highlighting the idea that good deeds bring rewards while evil deeds bring about one's downfall. Also, their positions may mirror patriarchal beliefs. Women are frequently presented as strong willed and knowledgeable in these tales, as we have tales, of queens, loyal wives, or enchanted women. Also, we have the stories of Akbar, Birbal, and we have the stories of, like another kings and queens. So we can say Western and Central Indian folk tales are rich, captivating, and firmly anchored in their cultural past because of these components. So, listeners, thank you for patiently listening to me, and I'll be talking about more folk tales in my coming lectures. Thank you.